Well, what's up, man? My camera's not working, but we'll see if we can fix that
What's
real
going
quick.
on?
How you been?
All right, man. You ever like date a girl and then
Oh,
she's trying
Jesus.
on different clothes and she's like, "Oh, does this make me look fat? Do I feel, I feel big or whatever?" So like I'm fighting this sinus thing in my head. So anybody who's watching, if my head looks a little bigger than normal, a little fatter than normal, that's all that's going on.
You're
That's all.
fucking fine. Jesus Christ.
The sinus is added 10 pounds.
You don't even sound all clogged up, man. What's going on?
No, I don't
No.
know, man. I took some Mucinex. I took some Sudafed. I'm doped up so I can soldier on.
Oh, good. We won't keep you around for too long tonight. All right, so welcome to Slightly Nocturnal. I'm Doc Holliday. This is Bo Machado along with me. Today is December 12th, 2016. We are live here on YouTube. Let's pay some bills real quick and we'll jump into tonight's show. I want to thank our sponsor, TGN, NVIDIA. Of course, we're presented by Cobra Studios. Let's see what else we got going. Make sure that if you're new, you subscribe here to YouTube and like it and share it with your folks, your fans, whoever you fucking deal with on a daily basis. And if you don't like it, make sure you put it in, give us a big dislike and put it in the comments what you don't like. So
That's right. Constructive criticism is appreciated.
it is, and you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So if you're if you're not into Twitter, you're into Facebook. You can find us all on there. Everything gets updated across the board. So if something goes on Twitter, it always goes on Facebook as well. So yeah, if you have Facebook, go over there and like us and share us with your people on there. I appreciate it so much. Myself and Bo also have Twitter, and all our stuff is below in the comment or in the description there below our video right now. All right, so let's just dive on in. I guess let's cover this TFC shit real quick. This shit, I came across, somebody sent me this, and they were like, "Hey, I heard you were into UFC. What do you think about this shit?" So this what is called Team
Fighting Championship. We found Joe Rogan's next gig.
It's insane, is what it is. So it's like these five guys. First of all, it's this huge boxing ring. It's got to be like 3 times the size of a normal boxing ring.
Oh yeah,
and it's 5-on-5, and for every group of for every pair of fighters, they got a fucking a ref in the ring with them. And it's like MMA. They just go balls to the wall, 5 guys. I almost felt bad. The videos that I watched, it was like this one team just kept dominating.
Yeah. They look like some pros among amateurs.
So, they were talking, in the videos, it looks like, so if you pair up and you fight and, a guy taps out, of course, that guy gets out of the ring. But then it can be, and then it can become 2-on-1, 3-on-1.
Yeah, it's like a
4-on-1.
wrestling battle royal.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. Except these guys are really getting hurt, not looking WWE. So,
although you can't fake a body slam, like when you hit the mat, that shit hurts.
That's true. But yeah, this TFC, you can go check it out. They got a YouTube page. It's Team Fighting Championship. So it's fucking crazy, is what it is. At the end, there was 5 guys fighting one dude. They're all just beating his fucking ass, and it looks like they don't have the UFC rules. It looks like Pride rules because they were kicking and kneeing down opponents. So it's definitely interesting. So check it out if you want to go see that shit. Is insane. I tweeted it out a couple days ago.
It's good stuff. If you like the fight game, if you like fight.
What'd you think about it, man? Do you think something like that's gonna become a real deal? I mean, obviously it's a real deal already. That didn't look like some backyard deal.
I think so. And as MMA grows and changes, like all things do, you never know when they're gonna start to add something like that into things like the UFC or Pride or any of those places. Maybe not to those levels, but tag teams, you look at almost every sport that's like that, you have a tandem thing, so you never know when they start to look at that kind of thing.
I thought that was craziness.
So. Yeah, everything metamorphs.
I wish the UFC would adopt some more Pride rules. So if you're a big UFC fan, you know that as long as if you're standing up and you have a hand on the mat, you can't be kneed. So I think that kind of shit needs to go away. Like, I think there'd be a lot more. I think
there'd be vicious knockouts.
I think so, and I think that's what people pay to watch. You know, like every UFC fight that's not free, you got to pay a premium. It's usually like $50, $50 or $60. You know, and in tickets, I've been to UFC fights. Tickets to them are not cheap either. I mean, like garbage sheets are like $200. You know?
Oh sure, yeah. So I don't pay for any of that. I go to like Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yes, there you go.
So,
but you're still paying for something. Like, you know, you're gonna pay for food. You may not spend $50, but you know,
right? Yeah.
There's a free fight this weekend though too. What's his face? That kid that Dana likes so much. It looks like a fucking. He looks
the Wonder Kid.
I don't. What's his name?
Stevenson.
I don't know. Yeah, let's see.
You like him too.
Who?
You do. You were the one that told me about it.
Let's see. Oops. Is it?
He's like the 18-year-old, right?
Yeah. I can't think of his name though.
Well, this is.
Oh Jesus. Let's see. It's on Saturday. This has got to be it right here. Let me look at the card.
Northcutt, right? Sage Northcutt.
Sage Northcutt. That's who it is. Yeah. Sage Northcutt is going to be on the main card, along with Van Salt and Watterson. Both of those are fucking hot ass chick. In fact, the fucking Michelle Watterson's fucking name is the Karate Hottie. So.
Oh, nice.
So she's pretty hot. Faber is going to fight Pickett, and Perry's going to fight.
I thought Uriah was retiring.
I guess not. He's going to fight fucking Pickett. So.
He's one of those placeholder fighters we were talking about.
Yeah, Brad Pickett is probably going to fucking end him, but Uriah Faber, he's still ranked number 7 in the world in his weight division. So.
Well, almost all of his losses have been in title fights.
Yeah.
I mean, he hardly ever loses unless he fights for a belt.
He's a good fighter. He's in great shape still, too. So.
Yeah, California kid.
Yeah. So that's free this weekend on Fox. So if you want a free fight, there you go. It'll be good. I see that they're really ramping up these women's fights. There's more and more of them in. I'm seeing more and more of them on cards.
Yeah.
And then Ronda Rousey's gonna fight again.
Yeah, she's what, 207? UFC 207?
Yep, she's gonna
She's
fight.
the next card, right?
Yeah, and I think is it free?
I can't believe a Rousey card be free.
I want to see. Let's see. She's fighting Amanda Nunes for the belt, so she's the number 1 contender. I think that's a bad fight
for Ronda.
We'll see. That's my girl, man.
I know. And I like Ronda too. Your future ex-wife. And honestly, like a dominant person like her and like Brock Lesnar was for a little while, like those kind of people are actually good for the sport because people either love them or hate them. You know, so women's fighting hasn't really had that since she left, or not left, but you know, since she kind of bowed out after that beating she got.
And then on January 15th, fucking BJ Penn will not quit fighting. He's going to fight again.
He's in the UFC?
Yes, he's on the main card. He's the main fight of the night.
Who's he fighting?
Yari Rodriguez, who's the number 10 in that weight class, ranked number 10.
What class is he fighting in? Because he's fought in like 3 or 4 classes.
Oh, let's see if it says... let's see, they're fighting at... Looks like 145.
Okay. So he's got good power for that weight class, so you never know.
I know, I love BJ. I don't want to see him lose no more, though. Like, I'm tired of seeing him.
He's gotten hit a lot, you know. Those dudes, when you get hit so much, your sweet spot becomes like the entire side of your face.
Yes. Ugh. So there you go. There's your UFC stuff coming up.
Yep. And what UFC 206 just wrapped, right?
Yep. And
you
want to talk about that? Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch. I saw a little bit of it. I saw some highlights. Holloway beat Pettis up. He TKO'd him.
Yeah.
I saw that. Um, and then he called out Jose Aldo. Did you hear about this?
Of course he. Yeah, I heard about it. I watched most
Yeah.
of the fight.
Like, where's Waldo?
Yeah.
So I think Holloway might be able to beat Josie there. You know. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I say he loses to him.
You think?
Yep.
So McGregor's the only guy that can beat Aldo at that weight class?
Have you ever watched Jose Aldo fight other people? Like, that dude is a machine.
Yeah. He dominated everybody until he got knocked out in 9 seconds.
Like, I just think that's just it's not a fluke. It's just Conor McGregor is I don't know what you call it. He's a good fighter, but he's an anomaly. That's probably the best thing I can say about McGregor, is he's an anomaly. There ain't a fucking closet full of Conor McGregors. If there was, I mean, you know what? I will say this though. I would say there used to be better fighters, like back in 2006. I would say that there's like everybody was equal. There was a lot of more equal fighters back in like 2006, 2007, 2008. Now you have like upper tier and you have some mid-level. I think that there's a big split now between it. So, and I think a lot of that has to do with the growth of the UFC. There's a lot more training camps all over the place. You know, there used to be like 3 places. That was it. You know, like Miami, LA, and then somewhere out in
New Mexico, right?
Mexico.
Greg Jackson.
That was like it. If you wanted to fight, like, you know, and there was a couple places overseas in Europe. But like, if you wanted to go train to be in the UFC, that was it. You know.
Yeah.
So
Other than that, you're looking at going to Brazil or somewhere down.
I think that's why. I think that's why you see a lot more rounded out fighters now. And, you know, now where it comes down to just, they've all had the same training. Now it comes down to if you're talented in that area, like who's who got the better genes, you know?
Yeah. Well, and McGregor's kind of like Chuck Liddell when he was, you know, young, where he just has like those dynamite in his hands. He catches people just right and puts them to sleep.
Yeah.
So
I think that I think Conor McGregor, he's an amazing fighter, but he's an anomaly. There's not like a fucking stable full of Conor McGregors. Like I think there used to be, you know, everybody that fought in that time period that I just talked about was, you know, they were just all fucking amazing fighters. So
yeah, I don't know if they were more amazing than these guys, or if it was just there were so few that.
I think there was so few of them, and that the UFC had them all. You know.
Yeah, right. So, you know, I think the current fighters, if you take the top 5 in each class, probably would match up with those guys. But there are so many more fighters now than there were.
You know, when people saw that then, that was 2005, so that's almost 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's over now, yeah.
So, you know, they've had all these new schools blow up all over the place. A lot of those UFC vets have opened schools all over the place, all over the U.S., and so there's a plethora of places to go and train like that now and get that kind of, you know, skill and you know, those people that have been there and done that can show you the ropes. So
yeah, I saw Rogan thinks McGregor would knock Floyd out. Did you see that?
I think Rogan needs to fucking take a chill pill, fucking reevaluate.
Yeah, I thought he was a little wild on that particular episode there.
He needs to reevaluate his priorities.
Yeah, nothing against Conor. And Conor could knock anybody who's in the same class as him out if he were to land the punch just right.
I think Conor could probably knock Floyd Mayweather out, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, right. I think if they fought, Floyd is smart enough to not get hit with that big shot. He's shown that throughout his career.
I think that he's just too smart to get in that China.
There's a reason that he's undefeated.
Yeah. I really do. I think that Conor McGregor probably has the ability to knock him out. But
certainly. Yeah.
But that would have to be, you know, I think basically it would come down to a Floyd Mayweather mistake. Like, if that were to happen, it would be because Floyd Mayweather made a mistake and then it fucking just happened. Which would just, you know, it's both two skilled fighters. And McGregor's not a boxer either. So.
No, right, yeah. And if they were to fight UFC, a whole different story.
Yeah, that'd be a different deal, yeah.
So, but in boxing, you know, that's Mayweather's world. And in, 37 fights or something, he's never made a mistake at this point. So I just find it hard to believe.
Not a bad enough mistake to lose a fight.
Yeah. So
that's good stuff. So what I see you got. Well, who's Jones submits Hendo in a grappling match?
Oh yeah, did you see that? Did you see
No,
that?
I don't see. I didn't see that shit. I don't. I have no respect for him anymore. None.
I know, I know you're not a big fan. So in oh I
Was
forget the
it?
name of the
Is
I
it just
forget the
some
name of
kind of
the
grappling match, or was it like official?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
what?
So it's all grappling. Yeah. So there's like a league that you can grapple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let me see. I put it on Twitter. So it's SUG. Let's see. And so he beat Dan Henderson.
He submitted Dan Henderson.
Yeah, yep. So he submitted him with a triangle choke Sunday night. And then they both gave each other a bunch of props. And then John called out Kale Sonnen
Chael
and said
Sonnen.
he wants said he wants to fight him next. And he challenged him to a grappling match January 29th. And so I don't know what SUG stands for, but it's SUG, and this was SUG 2. Trying to find if it said the agency. Something underground, I think it is. But so yeah, so John Jones beat Henderson.
Oh, Submission Underground. That's what it stands for.
Yeah, there you go, Submission Underground. Yeah, that shit should have been easier to figure out. I'm gonna blame the medication on that one, folks. So, but anyway, he called out Sonnen now.
I don't
So,
think
and
he
then
should be able to fight right now. Fuck, man. Nothing. I don't think he should be able to do shit. It aggravates the absolute living fuck out of me.
Well, that's how he's honing his skills, by fighting down there.
It's too fucking bad. He shouldn't be able to fight at all. Like, oh, it just pisses me the fuck
Why
off.
shouldn't he be able to fight at all?
First of all, because he fights in a sanctioned thing, and obviously this SUG is not sanctioned, or they don't follow some kind of rules, because he just got
Right,
popped for having
wouldn't have let-
cocaine
Right.
in his system.
Is cocaine performance enhancing though?
I don't say it's performance enhancing, but it's against the fucking anti-doping commission, you know. So if you're gonna, it's like you can't pick and it goes back to the whole thing of, you know, you can't pick and choose rules to follow. Like you gotta, you know, in this SUG, obviously it's a big event. I mean, because fucking Dan Henderson's down there fighting in it.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it's obviously not some mom and pop fucking shop. So it just aggravates me, you know, like, and then this is the motherfucker you people do not need to forget that hit and ran somebody, and the reason that he got caught is because he came back for his fucking money in his car. Like, he fucking fled the scene of a hit and run, you know. The dude needs to be in jail. If you and I had done that shit like that, we would be in jail right now.
Well, you know, I mean, that might be true. I like to think I'd have been smart enough to not forget my money. But,
True enough. And then you say, no, so let's go back to something you say. You know, we talked about what's his face, Steve Kerr smoking pot, and people have a problem with that because he's, you know, they have a bigger problem with it because he's a role model. And the same thing could be said for fucking John Jones. Is, you know, there's a lot of young people that love the UFC, and he's a very talented man. But you know, and he committed a crime.
I love John Bones Jones. That dude's a beast.
I like him too. He's a good fighter, but he has made some fucking. You know what? It's one thing to make a mistake, but he has made repeated mistakes over and over.
The thing I'll say is, it feels like he's become more immature as the years have gone by. If that makes any sense. I
agree.
Like he seemed like much more professional very early in his career, and then stardom kind of has come, and decision making has worsened.
Yes, I agree.
You know, and that can happen to lots of people. You know, I mean, you get a certain amount of money after you haven't had money like that. And it's easy to kind of go down that path. And, you know, celebrity is very unforgiving. You know, when things are going well, they go real well. And then something happens and, the bottom falls out.
You know, so, and, you know, he violated the so he's suspended for like 2 years fighting in the UFC. You know, and it's just a shame because he's such a good fighter. Like, goddamn, he's so good. But he has made mistakes. Oh, yes. It's almost like what happened to Ali. You know, like Ali decided he he didn't want to fight in the army. He didn't want to get drafted. So, you know.
So he became a conscientious objector.
Yep, changed his name, took on a new, you know, because he was what, Cassius Jones was his, that's his.
No, he's Cassius Clay.
Cassius Clay.
Yep.
That was his name, and then he, you know, he became a conscientious objector. What the fuck? And then, changed his name, and then he had, you know, he like lost years of prime boxing time.
Oh yeah. Well, and he went to federal prison, right? Yeah. I think you know. So.
I just don't want to see Jones go down the same path. I mean, I guess it's good that he's, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good that he's allowed to get on in these shows or whatever this is.
I think it is. I mean, it's no different than training.
Well, no, because I think it's different than training because this is a platform. This is all on the news, you know. So this is a platform for him.
If he were to go to a camp and hold a televised grappling match, that'd be the same thing. You know, it's not a paid fight, but it would be the same thing.
Oh, I bet he got paid for this.
I don't know. Would he be allowed to be paid because he's under contract with UFC?
Oh, I'm sure he's allowed to get paid. So.
For a combat sport?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They get Dana on the phone. Let's ask.
So if you read some of those contracts, like what's his face used to do the same thing. Saint Pierre, he'd go fight in those karate matches. That would they'd win money, you know. So it's not. It just can't be in direct competition with the UFC. Is how I from what I know and my interpretation of it.
Okay.
So this Sug 2, you know, he can't fight. I assume it's, you know, I don't know if I'm sure it was televised somewhere, even if it was on the internet. So I just don't think he should be able to fight anything like that, like any kind of sanctioned event. So if he's allowed to fight there, let's just bring him back to the UFC and let him fight, you know.
Yeah, let's do it. I say let's let him fight. You start the petition, I'll sign.
I'm not signing anything. Motherfucker took cocaine and broke the rules.
I'll be the first signature.
Like, what are we gonna draw the lines at here, you know? So cocaine is not fucking marijuana. It's a different type of drug. And yes, I guess it could be considered performance enhancing if you took cocaine right before you went into the octagon. But I don't think that's what John Jones did. I think John Jones decided to party a couple of weeks before the fight, you know, and he took a little bump off a stripper's ass probably somewhere. Mr. fucking First Corinthians, fucking a Bible tattooed across your chest. Way to go, buddy. Way to represent.
Hey. If he's Christian and he believes in, you know, the New Testament, then he can be forgiven.
You know, I'm sure he can be. I you know, I'm not saying he can't, but it's not a good representation of the Christian faith either.
Sure it is. See, that's perfect because that's redemption.
Oh my gosh! You want to call now and support Reverend Bo Machado?
That's right.
Oh my god! I just don't think he should be able to fight. He broke the rules. You break the rules. That's it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. That's
my opinion.
That's the way of the world. I kind of disagree because I don't feel like that it was anything that changed the outcome of a fight. But you know, I was fine with Dan Henderson being able to do the platelet therapy and all those other guys, which was definitely prolonging their career. So, you know, I like seeing him knock people out.
I don't like seeing people get away with breaking the rules, and I feel like John Jones is the epitome of that right now. So, you know, they took his belt away. Dana White got on national television and just badmouthed John Jones, and rightfully so, for what he did, you know, in his car accident. And then all of a sudden, he's back in the UFC. He paid for his sins. He's back, and then he gets popped again. Like, of all the fucking things, John Jones. Like,
yeah, that was not the brightest thing to do.
Fucking boneheaded moves can you fucking make, bud? So, all right. So,
but, you know, winning creates forgiveness. Yeah.
Money.
We've talked about that with other sports.
Money
you know,
creates forgiveness.
Well, and winning.
Actually, it doesn't create forgiveness. It's a blanket because that shit is always underlying.
But it helps with the short-term memory. You know what I mean? Like, it's easier to forget shit when people are winning and doing well.
It's just aggravating to me. So, I'm glad people disagree. You know, if we all agreed on it, it'd be boring as fuck. So.
Well, and you know, you want to see the best people fight, right? And what he did really didn't influence the fight. So, why wouldn't we want to watch him fight still? That's my take on it.
Well, then why is it a rule?
Because they have fucking rules for all kinds of stuff that shouldn't be rules. Yeah, I think
I don't make the rules, but
Maryland,
goddamn it, we
if I
gotta fucking
remember,
obey them.
You know, there's a bunch of states that say oral sex is illegal.
Don't get caught doing oral sex.
Does that mean none of us should have oral sex?
Don't get caught.
I'm gonna say that we should all be doing that. So
don't get caught. That's my deal.
Some rules should not be there.
I don't disagree with that, but I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna get caught, like if you take cocaine, they're gonna put you through a drug test. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, right. I'm not arguing level of intelligence when it came to decision making in this instance.
There was a fucking hot ass female involved. There had to be. And
that makes many a man stupid.
It does.
Some women. So,
guys, got to stop putting the pussy on a pedestal. Jesus Christ.
Sometimes it should be there, though.
Wait, now what? Sometimes what should be where?
It should be on the pedestal sometimes.
No, never. Fucking never.
Yeah, sometimes you got to treat it right.
Treating it right and being on a pedestal, two different things.
Was that a Chubb Rock song? Treat them right.
I know I'm all about treating women right, but they have a fuckload of power. They do. Some women have figured it out.
You just have to use it right.
Oh, I agree. Some women have figured it out, and some women have taken advantage of it. So, I still am a firm believer.
Sex robots are striving to take that power away.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That's a good segue into. So, last 2 days, me and Rocketman watched this. We were encouraged to watch this show called Westworld, which it's on HBO. It's a great show. If you haven't seen it yet, binge watch the fuck out of it and watch it. I'm a huge. One of my favorite shows is Lost, and it reminded me a lot of Lost. So,
only it wasn't a dream.
You don't know what Lost was. You haven't seen
it. Okay. I've heard stories. When I heard the stories, I couldn't watch that. I was like, I can't dedicate any of my life to that shit.
That's a false, sir. False. You should watch that show. You should watch that. When you become a full-time employee of Kill Cobra Studios, it will be your first mandated thing is to watch all 9 seasons of Lost.
All right. Well, if I'm getting paid to watch a TV show, my ass will sit right in front of the TV, eyes glued, and watch the shit out of a TV show.
And you will be so goddamn disappointed at the end, like the rest.
And that's why I have to get paid to watch it.
Lost, oh my god, you need to fix the fucking devastation that you It would take 10 minutes and you'd fix it all, god damn it.
That was J.J. Abrams, right?
Yeah, which, by the way, is Westworld as well.
What do you...
So.
Did he do Westworld?
Yeah, so that was my thing. Like, first, I turned it on. I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's me and Rocket. It's going to be a big deal. We're going to watch half the show on Saturday, half the show on Sunday. I see the credits roll for the opening scene, and I see this horrible fucking name come across the screen. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this shit again. I fucking did this before.
Well, he made Alias, right? Alias had a good ending.
I never watched Alias.
No, so you should watch Alias.
I never heard good things about that show. You're probably the first person I know that have seen that show and liked it.
So. I got the box set.
Must be a fucking fan. You probably will love Lost then, sir.
Yeah, I don't know if I would love Lost or not, but I did love Alias. Jennifer Garner was a cool-ass spy.
Jennifer Garner is a hot-ass chick. Anyway, so we're watching Westworld, and if you don't want... I'm going to say some spoiler alerts, so if you might want to fast forward a few minutes here if you're watching this later on, or mute me for a few minutes. But, so, the biggest, shock to me of everything, I've watched the entire the season, was that Bernard, or Bernard, however you want to say his name. I like that bitch. That bitch, to me, that's like, oh man, she's one of the sexiest women alive right now. Bernard is actually one of the hosts. Like, he's a fucking robot. And you find out in episode 6 or 7, somewhere along those lines.
Yeah, maybe 7 or 8, I think.
I know it's not one of the last.
Right?
Yeah, I know it's not one of the last 2. I think
it wasn't in the last 2, so it was in either.
I want to say it's 6 or 7, one of those.
Okay. I watched it every week. Like, I was the poor bastard who watched it, and then it would end, and I'd have to wait a whole week to see what was going to happen.
Fuck that. And I shouldn't have watched it. I will say this now. I should not have watched it. I should have waited till the second season was out. Because it's a great show, but it was not, I don't know, like, I guess if you watch it, like if you're, contemplating watching it and you've heard that it's going to be till 2018, till the next one comes out, they do leave it in a place where it's not like a cliffhanger. They answer a lot of fucking questions at the end, but there's a lot of new questions, but not so much as, if they never made another episode again, I think it would be fine. So,
I think you should all watch it. I told Doc to watch it. I think everybody should watch it. I liked it.
It's a good show. I recommend you watch it if you have access to HBO.
And I could see, in not the necessarily immediate future, but in the short future, how something like that could become like a reality.
Very much so. Very much so. And I'll give an example. I was just telling Bo here before the show started. I went to Japan a couple years ago, checked into this hotel, and I didn't know it at the time, but I talked to the concierge there, the receptionist after I checked in. I didn't realize till after I checked in that the person I had just been talking to was not a human being. It was a robot. In fact, the entire fucking hotel I was staying at was run by these android robots that were very, very light. So much, in fact, that I had no idea I was talking to one until I turned around and saw that this was not a human being from the waist down. So
you really enjoyed the maid service? Is that what you're saying?
But the fact what Bo just said is very true. Like the fact that it could be, it could happen in the very near future. So because basically it's already happening. So and they use, I guess you were saying sex robots are blowing up right now.
Yeah, there was a story in November in the Fab Gab. Not sure how sourced that is, but the Fab Gab, I believe it was, about how you can buy, and I'm quoting the title, creepily realistic talking sex robots with warm genitals starting next year. If that's your thing.
Jesus Christ.
If that's your thing.
So let's talk about that for a second. So there's some pros and cons right away. Cons being that, it's not somebody you can really have a relationship with. Well, although if you watch this Westworld show, you could fucking have a relationship with these fools.
Oh, certainly.
And and if you weren't wise to the fact, which hint, I think that's coming in the next season of Westworld, that some people are not going to realize because they're getting out of the fucking park, man. That was the other thing I didn't like. I didn't like that they didn't show what's his face getting out of he was supposed to lead the park, and I never saw that happen.
Oh, right.
I was hoping though what would happen would be that bitch would kill him on the train. Like she would run into him at the end and she would kill his ass.
Just wipe him out.
That's right.
I don't know. Also, the TV show My Strange Addiction had an episode about a person who was addicted to one of these real sex dolls, like one of the robots.
Well, I can see how it could get addicted.
Not one of the newer ones, but
you just fuck it and put it up, man. There's no fucking problems, no emotions, no fucking arguing or fighting. You get what you want,
stress relief, and then you
stick
her in the closet.
or vice versa. You stick you fuck the dude and put him away. You don't have to put us up with his slob ass or his fucking leaving the toilet seat down. Whatever the chicks are mad about these days.
Hey, I'm clean and I put the toilet seat down.
That's right. You have a successful marriage, so
I do.
You're doing something right.
15 years strong.
I, on the other hand, have had 2 failed marriages, so I don't know what the fuck.
It's all about that toilet seat.
It probably is. In the end,
it only takes I think it took 2 times for her to fall into the toilet before I started to put the seat down.
Yeah. Well, wait a second.
You just get out of the way early.
That makes me question your wife. Why is she falling into the toilet seat?
Well, just sitting down, and
then she not look at the toilet before you. I mean,
yeah, no, she just made I guess she made the assumption that the seat was down. So and my wife has bad knees, so since she has knee issues anyway, I'm sure she wasn't slowly elevating down. She was just kind of dropping a little.
Just
bit.
Drop, pop squat.
Yeah, and then she got a little cold ass, and
You got yelled at, and you fixed that and moved on
quickly. Right.
You fixed that error and moved on.
We rectified the toilet seat issue.
Yes, I want to congratulate you on this. There's not a lot of successful marriages these days, so my hat is off to you and your wife. So,
Well, I appreciate that. I
so
appreciate that.
yeah. So Westworld is an interesting show. The sex robots, I guess, like I said, there's pros and cons to that. The pros being that that fucking robot ain't gonna cheat on you. That there's no
Well, you hope.
insecurities there.
I mean,
Yeah, you hope
as
you hope your
artificial
best friend
intelligence-
doesn't come to your house and fucking brainwash your
Right.
bitch and fucking boning her in the closet.
right? Or a guy.
Exactly.
They have,
Yeah.
they have men versions too.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think the morals and ethics that it starts to bring light, and especially as the AI grows, and they become much more similar to people, like in Westworld. When's some fool going to want to marry his robot or her robot?
Oh, that's gonna be that'll be one of the first things somebody's
Yeah.
gonna want to legally marry him.
And once they have intelligence, at what level do they become, an individual, like a person versus a thing?
Yeah.
Like pets have laws to protect them, children have laws to protect them.
You know what we're gonna end up seeing? We'll end up seeing the whole thing, like basically a replay of from where slaves went, from when black people were slaves, till they got rights, till there was so that they were segregated and integration,
right.
and then same thing with women, when women got the right to vote, when blacks got the right to vote, all that stuff. I think you'll see the same thing. If something like that were to happen, it'll be a progression like that. You'll see the robots march on Washington because they want the right to vote. So I think you'll see stuff like that. Anyway, that's my opinion about it. If you want a sex robot and that's your thing, hey, better you than me, and you're not reproducing. So that makes my mind a little better at ease.
Looking at an expense of $5,000 to $15,000 according to this article.
Holy fucking shit! Actually, you know what, guys? That's actually about the same price as most people pay for engagement rings. So there you go. It's the gift that keeps on.
Well,
giving.
I don't know what kind of engagement ring you guys are buying. I didn't get anywhere near that for my engagement ring.
My first engagement ring that I bought for my first wife cost 6 G's. The second one I bought cost 11. So there you go.
Jesus.
They say it's 3 months' salary, man.
Well, you must have had a decent salary.
I
3 months
did.
of my salary was a lot lower than that.
Oh, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that's what it was. And my first wife, holy fuck. If she wouldn't have thought it cost that much, I'd have been in fucking shit. I'd been in hot water real quick. So
You mean the ring from the Cracker Jacks doesn't work?
she was a fucking money grubbing whore.
Cubic zirconia is not okay.
It was not okay. So. Oh, and she probably to this day is still fucking being a money grubbing whore. So
Maybe. At least she's not grubbing your money.
no, but she tried to for a long time. This was the gift that would not go away. She would just not go away from me for years. Even after I got married the second time, she was still trying to get involved in my life. It was horrible.
Well, you got to be careful how good you treat people, I guess.
You gotta be careful what you put your dick in, people. Please, don't put your dick in crazy.
That too. Well, don't marry crazy.
If you can put your dick in crazy and leave and get away, I guess it's okay.
Because crazy can be a lot of fun.
It can be. It can.
Let's not just take it off the table.
Practice safe sex, folks.
Yeah. Let's say that might not be the guy or gal for the long-term commitment.
That's not the one you want to take home to your mother.
No.
All right. So you like Westworld? You recommend it to people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I dug it.
It's a good show.
I'm a big fan of HBO shows, though. I will say that. So
I saw a
preview
preview for a new show that I'm most definitely going to watch next year called The Young Pope. It's got my boy Jude Law in it.
Jude, yeah.
Oh my God, I am like fascinated by the Catholic religion because I don't know what it is about it. I'm fascinated about it. I love the new Pope. I'm not a Catholic or anything like that, but goddamn, I love the Catholic people, man.
Have you ever gone to Catholic school or any of those kind of things?
I went to Catholic school at a very young age. I did in my first 3 years of elementary school and kindergarten.
A lot of this going on.
Yes, a lot of fucking ass whoopings. I never received any corporal punishment in the
No,
Catholic school. I was a very good
good for
boy.
you.
But
Were
most
you
of
a
my,
good boy?
most of I was good until I hit seventh grade, and then I lost my fucking mind. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when I started liking chicks. Like I was beyond liking them. I wanted to fuck them at that point. Um, most of my father's family on my are all Catholics too, but the whole Catholic thing just fascinates me. They have lots of mysterious shit, the Vatican that a lot of you're not allowed to go into, all the places there. They've made a bunch of movies about that stuff. The Borgias was another good show on HBO. I think it was on HBO or Stars. It was about the Borgias in the way back in the day.
Yeah, that might have been a Showtime.
It could have been. It was like right around the time period around the 1400s because it was. They talked about in that show. I remember them talking about Ferdinand. That was the guy who, of course, gave money to Christopher Columbus to go find a new world. But that was this. If you like fucking crazy ass shows filled with violence and sex, that is the show for you. The Borgias. It is a sex
Well, the
filled
greatest show
violent
for that was Spartacus on Stars.
I'm rewatching Spartacus right now. I don't know what
Are you?
my draw is, or what my draw was to that show. It is not
The
as
cock.
exciting to me now. So there's lots
You
of
love the
cock on
cock.
that show. Yes.
So, female listeners and viewers, if you're a fan of that, then Spartacus from Stars is definitely the show for you to check out. Lots of full frontal male nudity, which is rare
It's
in
on Netflix
in
right
shows.
now too. You can stream the
so
entire
normally
all 4 seasons on Netflix.
us gentlemen are given the ability to see female full frontal nudity, but very seldom are men full frontal nude. So women who dig that kind of thing,
Westworld had its
check that out.
fair share of front full male nudity as well.
Yeah, but much more female.
Yeah. All right, so let's move past sex robots. Let's talk about. There was an internal document leaked to USA Today that talked about the secret VA quality ratings. Did you read this article?
I did read the article, and I saw that all the hospitals that I've been at were around 4s. So
These pretentious fucks. The VA, man. All I got to say about the VA, I'm not gonna. I mean, we talk about this almost every show. You just need to get your shit together. So, I will have a big shindig to talk about the VA probably come next summer. I'm involved in a documentary process about the VA. So, if you see my face and I come to your VA, you're in fucking trouble, bitch.
maybe. I mean, you might go to one and get a pleasant surprise.
I don't think we're going to any VA and going to get any good, pleasant surprises. So, we've been to 3
Right,
VAs.
you don't think, but you never know.
We've been to 3 VAs so far, and I have not had any pleasantness at any of them. So
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate.
it is unfortunate because this is
but
how
you
we're
never
treating our fucking volunteer army heroes, our military heroes.
True.
Excuse me.
True.
So it's
Well,
a
and,
fucking
and,
sham.
and even unvolunteer at this point, because a lot of Vietnam era veterans who were drafted
they're still
are being
alive
provided
today,
care.
Yeah. So
And if anybody should be afforded it, it's definitely the guys that didn't even volunteer.
I agree with that completely. Yeah, if you're
I mean,
forced,
they were told, get your ass to the draft board and get your ass to war.
looking at you,
those
Muhammad
guys should
Ali.
definitely be taken care of.
Yes. Yeah. So
So, I'm all for people that want to be a conscientious objector. I mean, if you believe in something like that, then you should definitely follow your belief.
I have problems with people doing it because of trying to get out of things. So, and I'm not saying Muhammad Ali tried to get out of something because he wasn't beforehand. I don't know.
I mean, he wasn't afraid of violence, so
Yep.
there's no reason to think that he would have been afraid to do something if it came down to it. I just feel like he didn't believe in the war, and there were a lot of people that didn't. Although there were plenty of people who did and who supported our soldiers. Nixon called that the silent majority. So, for historians out there.
All right. So we got about 15 minutes here left. I'll just go ahead and say it. Dallas lost last night, 10-7 to the New York Giants. The Cowboys played piss poor football. Dak intercepted twice. It was not a good thing. They couldn't get anything going. So after the first quarter,
You're hoping not to see them in the playoffs, right?
the New York Giants. Yeah, I'd rather not see the New York Giants in the playoffs.
That's like the one team you're like, let's not.
And you know what? And I said this before. I don't know if I said it on the show or on social media somewhere, but this was the one game that I was worried about. It's a mind thing, you know. Like if you're 10-1, or 11-1, and you go all season, and the only game that you've lost is to another team that you're going to have to play again. That's a mind fuck. It just really is. There's a lot of psychological, value to that. And despite that, they still played a piss poor game, and they deserved to lose last night. So they just could not get anything fucking done.
Well, it was a division rival. All division games are always that. For the most part, division games are always a lot closer because you see each other twice with regularity. So everybody knows what you want to do. They know your personnel. There are very few surprises in the division versus when you play.
I was just glad it was a low-scoring game. It could have been a lot worse. I will say that. So.
Yeah. And Odell Beckham Jr. is a hell of a receiver when his game's on.
Okay, so I will argue that because he ran one touchdown for 60-something yards. It won.
That's all it takes.
One. Like this dude doesn't.
Was that not the play that changed the game?
Oh, I would say that was the play that's where Dallas lost. But it doesn't make they could have sent Mickey Mantle when he's 80 years old. He could have done the same thing.
I mean, I'm just saying there are multiple times in a game where you see him make a big play like that. Much like one before Dez started being injured. Yeah, but it was a big play. One play.
I mean, that's all it took. It was the icing on the cake last night. So, but I'm not going to sit here and brag about how awesome he played in that game. I'm not. That's not harping on him as a player. He's a good player, but he played. We made one good move, last night, and they won the game because of it. So, along with
does that every
multiple
game for the
mistakes by Dallas, including Dak Prescott throwing 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
So who else won it?
There were calls for Romo.
There were calls for Romo. Thank God those calls were not answered. We don't need any of that bullshit.
That would be a foolish move.
I did see today though where they're guaranteeing Dak is going to continue. So there's not going to be more. Let's not get any kind of crazy ideas, guys. That Romo's coming back on the field for Dallas.
Right. Both Garrett and Jones endorsed Dak Prescott and said that it was his team.
Yeah. So don't get worried. All right. So keep going.
Okay. We'll jump back to Thursday night. The game that was going on last show was the Chiefs and Raiders. The Chiefs won that game 21-13. They basically knocked the Raiders from first in the AFC all the way down to fifth in a wild card and took over first place in the AFC West. The Steelers behind, I want to say 236 yards from Le'Veon Bell, which is a Steelers rushing record. I think 3 touchdowns. They beat the Bills 27-20, and I made a note for myself. It was Rex Ryan's, 5th loss in the past 7 games. So you have to wonder if Rex is in hot water, much like Jeff Fisher, who was let go today by the Rams. Yeah. Yep. So Steelers now. Depending on what happens with the Ravens tonight, Steelers are 8-5 and a half game up on the Ravens for the lead in the AFC North. The Titans, to my great chagrin, defeated the Broncos 13-10 because Denver just cannot get the offense clicking and get it into the end zone.
It's a rebuilding period. You need to just get over it.
It's not rebuilding, man. It's just reloading. I mean, we're still 8-5. We're still sitting in the 6th spot for the playoffs.
You're not going to make the playoffs this year.
But it's going to be tough. That. We got, I think, the Chiefs. Or no, we got the Patriots, I think, next. Then we got the Chiefs on Christmas night, and then we end with the Raiders. So basically,
you're going to lose to the Raiders,
third best teams.
So you know that.
I don't know. I think we might beat them. We lost to them the last time.
I'll agree that you probably got the Pats numbers, so you're probably going to beat them. You're not going to beat the Chiefs, and you're not going to beat the fucking I
don't know, man. We had the Chiefs beat until a 62-yard field goal miss and then a ricochet field goal make. So I'm not going to say that we can't beat them. I'm not going to say that we can't beat them. I think it's possible to win every one of those games. but I
Oh, I
think that
agree.
it's highly
I
unlikely.
agree.
I do think that
I think you'll lose to the Chiefs. I think you'll lose to Oakland. So.
I don't, because those are both division games and we've already lost to them, so it's hard for me to agree with that. But I think that we'll be lucky to win 2 out of the 3. I would like to win all of them, but I think we'll be lucky to win.
You
2.
might win all of them. Hey, man. I think that's the
I know,
only way
well,
you come
you
to
know,
the playoffs, though. If you
I'm
don't win,
hopeful.
if you don't win 2 out of the 3, you're not going to be in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, we definitely have to win 2 out of 3, and maybe even 3 out of 3, because I think the
Depends on
Dolphins
how.
have the
Yeah,
same record as us.
yeah. It depends on. You better hope some team loses.
There
and
are
you
other
win.
right. There are some other teams that that we're in battles with to make sure we maintain that spot in the playoffs. And speaking of the Dolphins, they beat the Cardinals 26-23. They had I think like a block kick for a 2-point conversion, and some other notes for myself somewhere in here. I'm jumping ahead of where I was at. Too many papers here. But anyway, the Dolphins defense showed up, which was good for me if I'd have made the fantasy playoffs because I had those guys. Unfortunately for me, the Dolphins defense was shitty last week when I needed them. But the Dolphins beat the Cardinals 26-23. The Redskins beat the Eagles 27-22. And so the Eagles slide kind of continues. At one point, I think they were like 4-0 this year, and now they're like 5-8. So really struggling there. Now there's a team that's rebuilding, though. I mean, they had a high pick with Carson Wentz, and they have a lot of young players. The Panthers beat the Chargers 28-16.
The Panthers just keep ruining people's chances for the playoffs.
Oh yeah, and I think the Panthers still play I think maybe they play the Raiders for the Chiefs still. So they might still help my Broncos out some. The Bengals beat the Browns. The Browns are now 0-13. And I think looking at a strong 0-16 season.
I hope they get one win. Come on. We need to give them one.
Who are they going to beat, though?
Who they got left?
That's a good question. This week they play Buffalo. Are they going to win at Buffalo? If they win at Buffalo, Rex Ryan gets fired.
Oh, I agree. If you have an 0-13 team come in and beat you at home, wrong. Rex Ryan, you can kiss your job goodbye.
Yeah. So, and there's already, at this point, Ryan has not even endorsed Tyrod Taylor to remain his starting quarterback, even though Taylor didn't play bad, and they almost beat Pittsburgh. So there's talk that they might go to Cardale Jones, the rookie from Ohio State, which I think would be a mistake. I would stick with Tyrod Taylor. Trying to see the last of their schedule here. So they got the Bills, the Chargers, and the Steelers.
Okay. Not beating the Steelers. Probably not going to beat Buffalo at Buffalo.
Right. I don't know. I find it hard to believe they're winning any of those games. I mean, they do host the Chargers.
They might beat San Diego.
So San Diego's had a lot of injuries this year. It'll be on the road in the cold, and they come from San Diego. So, I mean, if they're going to get a win.
That's their best chance out of the 3.
So. Yeah. My guess is they go 0-16.
Rex, pray for Buffalo. Real quick here. We got 2 minutes, bud.
Oh, no kidding. All right. So, Lions beat the Bears 20-17. Texans beat the Colts 22-17, stay in first place in the AFC South. Vikings beat the Jags 25-16. Jets come back from 2 touchdowns down to beat the 49ers 23-17. 49ers probably going to be a 1-win team this year. That one win against the Rams, who fired Jeff Fisher today. Buccaneers 16, Saints 11. Falcons beat the Rams 42-14. Again, the same Rams who just fired Jeff Fisher.
That Packers, was a disastrous game.
Yeah, and Julio Jones didn't even play, and they beat the brakes off in LA. So something had to happen. Packers 38, Seahawks 10. That was a bit shocking. I thought the Packers would win, but not like that. And then, as you said earlier, the Giants 10 and the Cowboys 7. And tonight the Ravens play the Patriots. And the Ravens could actually beat the Patriots. I don't know what the score is right this minute. But the Ravens do tend to play well at Foxborough.
And then the only other college football game I think worth noting is the Army-Navy game. So, over the weekend.
Yeah, what Army actually won, right? For the first time in 14 years.
Yeah, it was a long time coming for Army. Congratulations to the Army Black Knights taking down the Navy midshipmen. Yes.
And the Patriots are up 9-0 right now with 12 minutes in the second quarter.
9-0.
Must be field goals.
Must be a field goal game. That's right. So. All right. One other thing before we get to the wrap-up part of the show here. We're going to have a guest on our show on Thursday night. The young gentleman from Politics for Dummies will be on the show. So if you want to check out his YouTube channel, I'll put it in the link below in the description. But he's a 16-year-old, big-time Republican. And so we're going to have him on, and we're going to do a little question and answer. And it'll probably be a little bit of a different kind of show because of that. But yeah, we're looking forward to having him on. So look for that on Thursday. Ring the Bell just came out right before the show, so check that out. I'm going to play a couple games this week. I don't think I'm going to live stream anything this week just because of my schedule, but I'll have a couple things coming out. We'll be back on Thursday night for more Slightly Nocturnal with our guest. And then in a couple weeks, we're going to have another guest on our show for sure. Somebody I was in the military with. So looking forward to that. Anyways, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel here for Kill Cobra Studios. Like us over on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can follow us all there. It's something for everybody. Myself and Bo both have Twitter accounts, so those links are in the description below. Check those out. Share the shit with your folks and your friends, man. It's Christmas time. You want something funny, something good to watch, you can always show them our show. I'm sure they'll enjoy. And if they don't enjoy, they can tell you why they don't like us and how we're assholes.
Right. And then you can interact with us and tell us how, so that we'll know.
That's right. There's always a live chat during the live show.
Maybe we'll be a bigger asshole, or maybe we'll modify that behavior.
We'll always, thanks for Lynn stopping by there on the live chat. Appreciate that. There's always a live chat during the live show. So make sure if you want to talk to us, that's the format to do so during the show. I don't think I have anything else to say. Bo, you got anything?
No. Remember, like us, follow us everywhere. Was that Lynn Bunny?
Yes, it was.
Oh yeah, so I always miss her comments because I'm slow being technological. So thank you for the happy birthday, and
that's right, yeah.
And appreciate the comments. So did want to say that.
All right, well, good shit. We'll see everybody on Thursday. Think for your fucking self. Remember to motherfucking question everything. We'll see you later, guys.
Catch you on the flip side.